Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright, y'all. Boruto Chapter 16 sneak peek has finally been released, and in this sneak peek we get to see Araya and Yodo, two hidden sand ninjas, pretty much greeting Konohamaru at the entrance of the hidden sand village. Specifically, the dialogue reads, "Welcome to the land of wind. Thank you for your cooperation." Konohamaru says, "Nice to meet you. Let's head there right away." So this right here is essentially going to be the start of the brand new mission. Now, first things first, if this is the only character that Shikamaru is sending, there is a problem. The Shinju version of Shinki, Ryu, is going to be going to the hidden sand village to essentially assassinate Gaara. If the defenses for Gaara is going to be Araya, Yodo, and Konohamaru, I'm gonna have a big problem with that, bruh. I'm gonna have a big problem. If y'all don't know, I've had a problem with the hidden sand village defenses of the Kages for a very long time, since Naruto Part 1. Bruh, come on. Orochimaru killed the Kazekage, and to be honest, even before that, Sasori killed the Kazekage that they thought would be literally unkillable. And not only that, at the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, Gaara almost died to the Akatsuki after they pretty much two-man wiped their whole entire forces. It's like I don't know, but in my personal opinion, I think that this sneak peek, they're just not necessarily trying to give us too much information about the upcoming chapter. I definitely do believe that Boruto is probably gonna try to at least keep an eye on what's going on, because Boruto is actually keeping an eye on what's going on. You gotta believe it's a possibility that he joins the battlefield if something actually does pop off. Right now, he does have the flying writing, so I'm pretty sure he's able to go to and fro the hidden sand village whenever he pleases. And I'm pretty sure he's able to also take people with him. So if things really pop off, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure Boruto is probably going to pop out. Now, the only thing is, like, how is he really going to be keeping tabs on the hidden sand village if things really do get really spooky? How is he gonna really know that he has to make a beeline there? I think that's gonna be an interesting question that they have to answer in the next chapter. But regardless, one of the things that I do have to say, Konohamaru, this is gonna be a big moment for him. I mean, one of the things that coming to the series, I mean, I kind of gave up on Konohamaru. I didn't necessarily think he'd be a good character, even on my podcast. My podmates were telling me a couple months ago that Konohamaru was actually the advisor to the Hokage. Bro, I had absolutely no idea. When I tell you guys, I completely gave up on my guy's character. I completely gave up on his character. So I am praying, and I'm hoping to the gods that my guy Konohamaru is actually going to do something of substance in this chapter. Now, don't get me wrong, he hasn't been a complete dud. We've seen him fight against a bunch of other characters before, but he hasn't necessarily lived up to the character that we thought he would be. And now that he is the Hokage advisor, you have to assume, like, the guy who's been talking about how he wants to become the Hokage ever since part 1 of Naruto, like, he got to start having some good moments, and I think this could be a very, very good arc for him to have some of those good moments. Now, good moments in itself doesn't necessarily just have to be like him bodying somebody, bodying Shinjus, like killing people. It could just be like smart stuff. It could just be like tactical stuff. It could just be like things that are extremely helpful to the Hidden Leaf Village in the current arc that they're actually on. I think if he does some Shikamaru stuff, and I think Shikamaru's a perfect example. Shikamaru isn't really like the fighter, but I don't necessarily think people had too much problems with Shikamaru assuming the role of the 8th Hokage. Konohamaru being in the Hidden Sand Village is kind of interesting for a couple of reasons. Well, I should say the decision to send Konohamaru to the Hidden Sand Village is kind of interesting, mainly because Konohamaru is also a target for the Shinju. So technically, if, let's say, Konohamaru runs into Shinki, or Ryu, the Shinju version of Shinki, Ryu could easily just summon Matsuri, the person who actually wants to kill Konohamaru, through his claw mark. And if that's actually the case, I don't necessarily know what Konohamaru is actually going to do, because as I said, I don't necessarily think he's going to be that strong. If he does make a huge impact, it's probably going to be through some sort of Shikamaru means. But I definitely do want to see if they did actually pull some other stuff, because Boruto, I don't necessarily want to put it completely past them for them to just add a power up to Konohamaru. And to be honest, now in TBV, when scientific technology is this powerful, like, Konohamaru being elite isn't completely out of the realm of possibilities. One of the things I talked about pre-time skip is that I thought with the scientific technology, it would make a lot of sense to pretty much upgrade a lot of the elites in every village. Like, for example, a character like Shikamaru that we know can't necessarily fight. If we have scientific technology from Amato that would pretty much boost him up to like a Delta level, why not give that to the Hokage? Like, that's just, not doing that is just bad for the actual security of your village. So I think if something like that could have happened to Konohamaru, I think that would be absolutely amazing. I know some of you guys don't necessarily like the idea of limiters and scientific technology upgrades, but for Konohamaru, it's like, I don't necessarily see how he gets there. How does he get to a Shinki? How does he get to a Jura? So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily mind that. But regardless, I think Matsuri, she's probably going to be getting a lot more screen time, and I'm definitely happy about that, specifically because we haven't necessarily got too much Moe content in pretty much all of Naruto, and I think this could be a decent way to get into her mind and see specifically what she was thinking about throughout all of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. But now, specifically with Araya and Yodo, they're definitely going to be interesting characters. The character that I want to see fight the most is probably going to be Yodo. Yodo was the puppet master. He's basically like the Conqueror regen. And in my personal opinion, I think that during the tuning exam, he did decent stuff. He just didn't necessarily master it. If you guys didn't recall, he basically fought against Sarada during the tuning exam, and Sarada had her Sharingan. During this time, like, he was piecing Sarada up like multiple times. And again, this was just a puppet, and Sarada was trying to put him under a genjutsu, but it was the puppet, so it didn't necessarily work. Sarada eventually won, but you pretty much understood that Yodo had a lot of potential. And of course, with the Sand Village and under Gaara, a character like Gaara who made significant improvements from part 1 to part 2, it wouldn't necessarily be beyond the pale for a character like Yodo to be like kind of not necessarily on the same level as like a Shinki pre-Shinjutsufied, but like it wouldn't necessarily be beyond the pale for him to be like on that level, like similar to like a base Mitsuki or something like that, or potentially even higher than that currently. I think that he definitely has a lot of potential. Now, the other one is going to be Araya. She has super interesting abilities. It's pretty much the sound stuff. She has super hearing, and of course she has like high frequency attacks. These are just super interesting abilities and techniques that we haven't necessarily seen too much yet in Boruto. So I'm glad that we are actually exploring different villages. We are actually exploring different abilities, and of course we are now exploring different villains with the arrival of my guy Shinki, which we would have never thought that he would be a villain back in part 1. But let me know what you guys think about this sneak peek in the comment section down below. I think it was absolutely amazing. The only thing I would say is I really do hope that they send more characters and not just Konohamaru. Damon would be perfect. I think that would be amazing. But let me know what you guys think. It's me, your boy Barbie, and we out.
It's a knife.